Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. So guys, this has just popped up on my screen. This is the additional Champion Chase tournament, which is starting now. It's on for 4 days. And it looks like the juicy first prize for the Champion Chase is going to be Elder Skarg. Let's have a look. So with that in mind, guess what we're going to do? We're going to do an Elder Skarg guide. But let's check out what they're doing here. So this is the one they've thrown in because we needed more fragments for Drakol because of all the issues they've had. They've thrown a legendary champion as the main prize. I know, depending on which group you're in, this is going to be really tough to get. How many are in the groups here? My group is a group of 100. I'm just going to quickly check, actually, on my free-to-play account. Is it still Elder Skarg? Because sometimes they do different stuff on that, on like lower-based accounts. Yeah, it is. On my free-to-play, it's Elder Skarg as well. So 1 in 100%, 1 in 100 people in this game are going to get themselves an Elder Skarg. 1% of the people who play this game will get an Elder Skarg in 4 days. In terms of the, I didn't want to see that, I want to see the global. In terms of the global leaderboard, one person is also going to get a Venus, which is another awesome champion. But Elder Skarg recently buffed. A lot of people are telling me super cool, so I'm going to log into someone's account now who's got him, and we're going to see what he can do. Okay, guys, here we go. Stridelust has lent me his account. We're going to go in for the Elder Skarg guide. So, Elder Skarg, recently buffed, and it's a significant buff. So, he's got an A1, which will place an increased speed on himself if he hits with a crit. That's the main thing to know about his A1. It hits okay, and it's also got an increased speed. We'll try that out in a second. We've got an A2. This is where his kit has been massively buffed. So, it's a 3-hitter. Places an extra hit for each buff or debuff on the target. So pretty much what you want is you want to land debuffs on the target because you can't really control the buffs on the target, albeit in the arena maybe you're running against people with multiple buffs. Can place up to 3 extra hits. So that could be a 6-hitter if there's 3 debuffs on the target already. Places an HP burn for 2 turns and a true fear for 1 turn on all enemies if this attack places all 3 extra hits. So if you get 3 debuffs on the enemy, or if they've got 3 buffs, he'll do an AoE, HP burn, and true fear. It's huge. Huge in Spider. Huge in Arena as well. Pretty huge for dungeons generally, but you do need those 3 debuffs down first, which is not the easiest thing to do in the world. Steals all buffs from the target after the attack. This is a move that just keeps giving, but it needs a bit of setup. So, very cool ability on his A2. A3 places increased defense. This is another move that does a ton of stuff. Increased defense on himself for 3 turns. Places a fear on all enemies for 1 turn. Places that becomes a true fear. So, it's a fear whatever. It's a true fear if they're under block damage. It's a decreased speed if they're under shield. None of these can be resisted, so he doesn't need any accuracy to land this. Also places provoke for 1 turn on legendaries. It's kind of like tons going on. It's mainly an arena move, I'd say, or a faction war move. If someone's got those buffs up, you're basically shredding through those buffs and putting annoying debuffs in their place. Or not in their place, but on over the top. Very cool. And then there's got this passive against legendaries. It'll just take straight out less damage from legendaries, which in the arena is huge. Huge in the arena. Also huge in faction wars, where most of the waves from like stage 17 onwards are filled with legendary champs. Also inflicts damage equal to this guy's attack when attacked by a legendary. Straight out. Straight out. So if a legendary hits him and he's got 4k attack, they take a straight hit of 4k damage. Pretty cool as well. So all in all, his kit is built to me for arena mainly, faction wars definitely, and with the AoE HP burn, if you can set it up, really good for Spider as well now. He'll come in and do work in any dungeon. I don't think he's really a clan boss champion. I don't really see that his kit really works for clan boss. And we got this crazy multi-hitter on a 3-turn cooldown, which is cool. If you don't have many legendaries, if you don't have that many good champions, then he can come in and do some work on clan boss. But none of this stuff's going to proc. Only the HP burn procs here. Single hit here. I don't think it's really the thing for him. He will do a ton of work on Fire Knight as well, though. So, with this 6-hitter coming in, breaking shields, potentially, you do have to already have the debuffs up, which means you've already had to have broken through the shield once already at least. So this is a little bit RNG for Fire Knight, but it's still a triple hit, even if it doesn't land the extra 3, which is big to get through the shield. So all in all, I think he's cool. I think he's a good champion. He certainly sits in the higher end of my tier list at the moment. The way we've got him built at the moment then is the original build that Stridelust had on him, which is a very strong one. We've got crit rate on his gloves. We've got accuracy on his chest. I could probably switch it out to make it something like attack percentage. We've got speed on his boots. And then we've got basically speed, crit, and attack running through his gear and some accuracy. So I think I'm going to see if I can just switch out his chest for an attack percentage chest. Ideally with speed and crit on it. Like this. Perfect. Get a bit more crit rate going. A bit less accuracy because the accuracy is still going to be strong at 230. And I think that's probably a better build for what I'm looking for. So 4.8k attack, 34k HP, 227 speed is strong, 93% crit rate, 225 crit damage, 231 accuracy. And in masteries, I've just left it as Stridelust had it, but it's probably about the right way. Very much an arena build, stroke dungeon build. Will do a lot of work in faction wars as well. Ending in Helm Smasher. The important ones here are to get our Evil Eye, Breakthrough Shields, Helm Smasher. So really like this build. Okay, so we're going to get out into some dungeons and see what you can do. Okay, so this is an example of a team that we could run. Any of these actually work? No. So what I'm thinking here is decrease defense and attack, 2 debuffs. Decrease speed. Oh, lost that. 3 debuffs. Poison. Loads more debuffs. So he should get his HP burn and True Fear out. He is going to be tanking up the Spiderlings, which is not ideal. I guess I'll see how this runs. It might not work because he might just be too fragile and might just die. But what I was trying to do is get a bunch of champions that were kind of relevant, that can get the debuffs out nice and early. Decrease defense, decrease attack, decrease speed. He then does his A3 first, so he gets his fear out first. That's actually not ideal. I'd much rather he got his this hit here first. But you see that? Slow it down. Let me just check. HP burns everywhere. So he has got the burn on all of the Spiderlings. He is tanking stuff up. He's probably going to die. He's also got his increased defense up on himself. So this might just turn out to be like incredibly strong for Spider. Really strong. The only thing that could let us down is if we are killing the Spiderlings too hard with all of the additional moves that we're throwing out there. So obviously Tomb Lord might have been a bit overkill here. And he definitely wasn't required. I just thought I'd bring someone else that would bring a load of debuffs to the party to make sure that it always goes off. But you can see here, first sort of wave of attacks. If I didn't have as much damage going in, I think we'd already would have killed the Spider. We've got a couple of top drop turn meter champs. Maybe we one-shot the Spider anyway. But there we go again. Was that the burn? No, that was the A3. Really, really solid champion now for doing this. One of the best. There's the burn. I mean, these Spiderlings got so many debuffs on them, I can't even see what's going on anymore. But, yeah, really solid. Really solid for this job. And he's actually kind of tanking the Spiderlings up quite nicely. Quite nicely. We've got burns on most of these. I'm not sure why we didn't get it on all of them, actually. I didn't really see. Fear's out everywhere again. And fear is another great way of controlling your Spiderlings. So, there we go. Job done. 1 minute 49. Lion's share of the damage is Elder Skarg. Tomb Lord could definitely have come out of that team for, an Armago or someone, or a different tank, perhaps. But he is top draw for Spider. Top draw, as long as you bring in champions that are going to drop those debuffs first. Stag Knight, amazing. Madame Cerise, amazing. Anyone who's dropping 2 is going to be fantastic. Sylar, amazing with that decreased speed debuff. And yeah, anyone really that's going to be bringing either multiple poisons, drop defense and attack, decreased speed, any of those major debuffs, he is going to partner with really, really well. Make sure he goes after those champs. So that's him in Spider. Let's just try him in Dragon as well. In fact, Fire Knights is probably the next one that I'm most keen to see him in. So I guess we'll just take out the other Fear champion here. This is an all legendary team. Obviously, it's not all you need to do. I don't know his teams well enough to just kind of throw loads of different stuff on. So what we got, 3 debuffs on, or plenty of debuffs everywhere, basically. We've got the Fears out. He's just nuked someone down. Let's just slow that down a touch so we can see what's going on. Drop the Fears out there. Obviously, in dungeon content, he's not going to be doing stuff like the decreased speed and that type of thing because there's nobody that is going to have the shields up or the block damage up and that sort of thing. So here we go. Fear's out, a provoke off. Fear is a huge kind of crowd control mechanic. He's just slammed someone for 40 odd K. It's a double hit. I'm guessing that was his A2. There's his A1 with the decreased turn meter and speed. Big hit again, 50 odd K is pretty nice. So, I mean, in terms of wave control, you know, anyone that's dropping out Fears like this is going to be great. Let's just check him out on the boss then. This is kind of where you want those multiple hits going in. So he's done his A1 there. That's his A3. Probably not going to get round to his A2 in time. No. So it's like anyone, isn't it? It's if you get the moves off in the right place on Fire Knight, it's amazing. If you don't, it feels a bit kind of lacking. That was his I think that must have been his A3 again there. And then we should be kind of going into the zone now of actually being able to do stuff. So, I don't know. Fire Knights is definitely a place where he can play. He doesn't seem to be doing. Let me just check here. I don't know if he's doing his A2 at all. I'm not sure if I've seen it go off yet. Just kill the turn meter there. So his A2 is available. Let's see if he does it on auto here. It should be, with how many debuffs we've got on here, it should be a 6-hitter. Now he's doing his A1. That's interesting. So it looks like on Fire Knight, he's not doing his A2 ability at all. Which doesn't make any sense to me. I don't really know why he would not be doing it there. That's something I'll feedback in. Maybe, guys, if you've got an idea, is there something which I'm missing in terms of mechanic? Why wouldn't he be just doing that straight out? I'm not sure. He certainly did it on the Spider when there was multiple ads. Maybe there's something to do with he'll only do it if there's so many enemies alive. Not sure. Let me just check the ability again. I'm just going to read that skill again and see if there's an obvious reason. Attacks one enemy. Places extra hit for each debuff. All of that was fine. Yeah, not sure. Not sure. So that's not ideal. You'd want him to be doing that against Fire Knight. If he doesn't do that against Fire Knight, it dramatically reduces his score because that's kind of why he's in there. Next place we should try him out is Faction Wars. So it is Barbarian faction today, which is awesome. This is a team that Stridust uses generally anyway. And against this boss, we'll see how it runs. So this is a full auto team, Stridust tells me. We'll check it out. Which is interesting. So we've got Kalia in there who is basically shocking. So we get the Fears out straight away. We get Seal dropping out stun debuffs. Kalia dropping out debuffs as well. He's just slayed someone with the A3, knocked him down dead. And obviously, I mean, the main thing here is he'll do a ton of damage and he'll do a ton of work on any waves. Any waves. Fears are huge in terms of crowd control. There's no like legitimate decreased defense champion in this faction other than War Maiden. So, you know, a lot of people will actually run without a decreased defense completely. That was his A1 going away there. Which obviously puts increased speed on him. There's the Fears. I guess what I'll do, I'll roll this through to the boss and see if he brings us any utility for the boss. Obviously, I mean, there's his 4 or 5 hitter there. Drops the HP burn on the wave. That's kind of what we're hoping him to do early on in the fight, if you can sort of tee it up. I'll get through to the boss and see how he does there. Okay, so we come through to the boss. Get the multiple hit out on the ad here. This is the boss that has got Provoke, attacks all enemies with True Fear, and he's got a chance to freeze. So it's all about debuffs with this boss. Basically what you need here is just someone who is going to give you passive heals like Seal does. Seal's amazing for this. And obviously Valk's really strong here as well. And then really what he's doing is just controlling these ads. So when the Provoke goes off, when the attack 2 random enemies go off, places Provokes, attacks all enemies, True Fears. Nothing in Skarg's kit's going to basically change that up. All he's doing here is bringing additional damage and some debuffs for the enemy. So he's strong here. He's not like crazy. He's not bringing like a crazy amount of utility here, but he's just a strong damage dealer that can kick out some good debuffs as well. Things like the fears on the ads just gives you that chance to just have a bit of a breather really from the damage that's coming in. So we get multiple up on the ads. We spread HP burn onto the boss because of that, which is cool. And then at this stage, you're just basically just trying to out damage and out survive what's going on. Looks like we've got Relentless set on our Aina. Down he goes, 59k, pretty good damage. And then this will just run through. There's no real way that with the amount of sustain you got from a Seal and a Valk together, there's no real way it's possible to lose at this stage. And that's going to be that. So I'll let that play through and we'll go and have a look at the arena. Okay then, for the arena, we're playing at plat level here, so we're not messing around. Stridelust is very high in the arena. He's got, let's go with a comp that I think can deal with this. So probably something like a Lysandra. Let me just see. He did give me an idea of someone that probably would work. I would usually use him with Hedgie. So let's go with, this is going to be high-end stuff, guys. Hedgie, Lysandra, Cerise. Of course, Cerise in every high-end team. And Skarg. So Skarg's coming in here for the damage. All of this is basically support play to enable Skarg to come in with a wax. Here he is. This is kind of what he's built for, right? So he is a positive affinity to most of the legendary damage dealing champions in the game, like your Trundas, your Folies, your Rotus. A lot of them are magic affinity. That's a good like big tick for him. He takes less damage from legendaries. That's an arena mechanic. He puts out fears, arena mechanics. So a lot of his kit is kind of revolving around the arena. Plus, he hits hard. So let's see how this runs. Basically, we throw out a Hedgie. And these guys, let's just see. We're slower with our Lysandra than their Lysandra. Their Lysandra's their quickest. See her turn meter compared to ours. So we're actually kind of come in an A1 and reduce her speed. Yeah, which means our Lysandra goes first. So we can then just check turn meters again. So I can either drop her turn meter. Then I still don't go quicker than him. So we're actually going to increase our speed and drop their turn meter. Madame comes away with the block remove debuffs. We've got triple debuff here. So attack one enemy, places extra hit for each debuff on the target. Can place extra hits. Places HP burn for 2 turns and True Fear on all enemies if this attack places all 3 extra hits. So I guess the challenge here is if we kill her without placing 6 hits, I'm guessing the rest of these debuffs don't go off. Let's test it. She is a negative affinity, so maybe we will get 6 hits in. But let's just see. So we killed her and we didn't get the debuffs off. That's what I was worried about. So if you actually hit someone too hard, potentially you don't get your cool part of that skill off, which is actually the True Fears on everyone else. Let's just slow him down, kill him, slow her down, and then see what happens with this A3. So A3, we've got increased defense on us, place fear on everyone, True Fear if they got a load of skills, which they're not going to have. So we get the fears off, we get the provokes off, and then he's got his passive, which is just reducing damage coming into him. So look, in the top end of arena, the real top end, which is where we're playing right now, he is not as strong as a lot of the damage dealers. Okay, let's be honest. He can come in, he can slam for decent amounts of damage. For most people that get him, he's probably going to be in your arena team. But if you're playing like real top end, he's probably not going to make your arena team. But he's solid. He's a solid champion. I think he's best actually probably for Spider now with the change they've made to him in terms of that kind of debuff setup. He's good at coming in with the crowd control and that type of stuff. But I honestly think in the current meta, he's probably like mid-tier arena champion, which is what he's actually built for. So you see there, as soon as I hit the auto, we lose. I could have won that fight if I've properly like got at it, manualed it all the way through, that type of thing. But I guess where he does come in is if you're playing against people that are going to be throwing up a lot of buffs themselves, maybe like this team, but the question is whether he can stay alive in this team. So like loads of buffs. He can attack those people, steal the buffs at the end of the attack, hopefully get HP burn off everywhere else. So there is a kind of, there is a kind of coolness to his abilities there. But that does rely on them having to go first, which is always dangerous in the arena. Like, as it stands right here, she might survive a 6-hitter. We'll see. No, she survived 3. So we totally wiped her out. And obviously she's going to get resurrected. There'll be a resurrection coming in and that type of thing. Once Duchess has a turn, which is always dangerous. So I think his kit's interesting, but it's certainly not like top tier. Let's get a reduction of speed out there. We're A3 on him. Get provokes out. He throws up a load of debuffs himself, which does enable his other abilities. Maybe, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what sort of damage he does here. 35k with decreased defense on, which is, again, it's okay, but it's not crazy. It's not crazy. So, good champion. I mean, certainly, 1 in 100 people are going to be able to pick this champion up. I wonder if he can take 6 hits. No, I mean, his A2 slams. In fairness, his A2 absolutely slams. And it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool ability. A3 with the provokes. Because it's a place, it means that we do get the provoke off. So even on negative affinity, that's going to land. And then A1 comes in and could hit pretty hard. Probably shouldn't have hit him, so it's giving him a load of turns. So yeah, I mean, guys, good champion, not broken champion. Can take a hit though. I like his passive. I like what they've tried to do with him, I guess. I like what they tried to do. And he's a mid to kind of, like a mid-tier arena nuker. But for me, best spot is Faction Wars and Spider for sure. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Good luck if you're trying to get him. I think I will try and get him for my account. I don't have him. Obviously, it's a champion chase, so it's locked behind shards, and that depends whether you've got any shards to pull. It also depends, what kind of whale you get, if you get one at all, in your kind of champion chase tournament. So, if you're in one that's already kind of chunking up 3,000-4,000 points, chances are you're not going to have him. Other ones, you're just going to get lucky if you get one that you can achieve or not. Anyway, I've been Hell Hades. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'll catch you later.